G'day guys, welcome to another layout. Now I'm going to get my spiel out of the way right at the beginning of this layout whilst you watch me do some distress texture paste put through some star stencils. I'm just creating a little bit of texture in the background. I want to let you know, if you are playing along, don't forget, you have to collect today's word to join in with the giveaway. It is for everybody. And this is my little spiel. I'm going to chuck it out there for you. To celebrate reaching this milestone, I will be giving away 2 gift cards to 2 lucky subbies. All T's and C's are listed below, and don't forget to collect all 16 words, which will be posted in the top right corner of every video posted on my channel from the 6th of May 2023 to and including the 22nd of May 2023. Now, what am I creating? I had fun with this one. I wanted to get messy and I wanted to use a stencil. And so I decided to use 2 different stencils, and I'm working with stars. Now, this is my opinion, okay? I'm going to chuck out just my opinion, and this is what I think works really well for me. I find the Distress Ranger Texture Paste, it's called, I find it really, really heavy. It's really dense compared to the light and fluffy Crafters Workshop texture paste. That's just my opinion. I am going to continue to use this till it's all gone, but I definitely prefer the light and fluffy Crafters Workshop one. It is lighter, it makes your layout at the end lighter, and therefore not as much weight on your spine with all your layouts. Now, what am I spraying? I'm using Distress Oxide sprays, and I have not, and I've done this on purpose, I have not done anything to the cardstock. The cardstock is the VICKI BOUTIN foundations paper. Now, the colours are bright, but they're not as bright as they could be if I used gesso. Okay, so if I used my white cardstock and I put clear gesso on it, these colours would sit more on top of the paper. But I did this by mistake the other day, and I really liked the look of it. So I decided I didn't want to add water to it. So I wanted to use the Distress Oxide. I never use them as a spray like this. I hardly ever do that. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to do it. Now, this is where you're going to notice the difference. Okay, this is Poppy Crafts white textured cardstock. Okay, it is not prepped. There is nothing else on it. So this is where you're going to notice the difference between the VICKI BOUTIN foundations paper and this. You know how I always say, and other content creators, they say the same thing. You need to prep your cardstock, protect it. If it's not watercolor cardstock, if it's not meant to hold mixed media, you know, your colors will soak into it. You will notice it on this particular layout, because what I decided to do is I thought, if I don't prep my title that I've cut out with my Cricut, if I don't prep that, I wonder if I'm going to end up with a shade lighter than what I've made my background. And that was my thinking. So you're using exactly the same products, exactly the same colors on both. Let's see if it looks like it's a shade lighter. And you know what? I think it does. I think it worked. So there was method to my madness. So the VICKI BOUTIN foundation paper is designed for you to do mixed media on straight up and don't put anything on it. It's a heavy cardstock, and that's what it's for. You can get it in black and you can get it in white. So it's excellent stuff. For me, you only get 12 sheets in a pad. So I sort of like to, I've made the decision that I'm actually going to stock up when it goes on sale, because I do really like it, and you don't have to have the wait time to get gesso onto the paper. So I will be doing both options. Now, don't mind me texting in the background there and just having to send a message to my child. Okay, so then I pulled out, I haven't used my stickle gels in a while, so I thought, you know what a perfect time to use some gels. So I've pulled out half a dozen of them there, and I decided to match them up with the colors that are on the layouts. So I forgot to separate it, so I'm doing that because the Stickles gel glues it all together. But see how it looks? See how it looks sort of, I want to say pastel-y, but it's not pastel, but I mean peacock feathers is not pastel. But see how it looks lighter because the cardstock is not prepped. So, and see how this one's brighter? Now, this is where I need more practice at doing this. I have popped the, so the texture paste is all dry, and I've popped the stencil down to try and add some glitter on top of them. It works in the end, but boy, did I feel clunky doing it. Clunky is my terminology for I just look awkward, just plain awkward. You think I could figure out which way I put these stencils down? Not on your Nelly. So, yeah. So, basically, this is me trying to, I only wanted to add the Stickles gel onto the certain stars, not all of them. That way you get a slightly different look to it. Now, I'm trying to do this so that I don't end up with stickles all over everything, but you can see me picking it off because I did. I ended up having to clean the stencil. I had to clean it off because I was just making such a mess of it. And then I realized I probably should have opened several pots and lay it down once and do the different colors by using different spatulas. Learn from my mistake, guys. If you're going to try and do something like this, because Stickles gel in winter does not dry very quickly, and I was making an absolute disaster of this situation. So, see how I'm trying to hold it up, and I don't. Look, I don't do it well, but you get the general idea. Sometimes it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that I do YouTube. I still look clunky and like I've got 10 thumbs and no toes. Like, it just, but it looks really good in the end. I love how it's sparkly and, oh look, you know what? You guys know I absolutely love shine, sparkle, and all things shimmery goodness. As someone, I was talking to someone the other night and we were having a bit of a laugh because I said shimmery goodness, and I've always sort of said that I love the shimmery, sparkly goodness, but I must have been tapping into Sandy, from the Steak Goddess. I must have been tapping into her because of the way I said it, which is pretty funny. And she's awesome. Like, she doesn't scrap like me. Like, we all scrap differently, but let's be honest, we all watch other content creators, and you know, it's entertaining, it's fun. So now I'm going around with a paintbrush, and I thought, you know what, for these itty bitty ones, I'll try just using a paintbrush, see if I can get it just on the star, doing it that way. It wasn't easy. It worked, but oh, it wasn't easy. I definitely need to rethink how I do that. So, but it's okay. It's all good. It works. I add other shimmery goodness, so it's fine. I just wanted to use some of the Stickles gels because they don't last forever. They do, over time, they do go sort of like jelly. Like this pink one is starting to, it's not as smooth as the others. Moondust is my favorite, but the Stickles that I'm using, Venus is, so I use Starshine, which is the yellow one, Venus, Galaxy, and Moondust. So Moondust is the glitter I used on the title. That's that's the clear one that's super fine. That one is It is my all-time favourite, I think, out of all of them. That one's my favourite. The other thing is, too, with these, they come with little stars and bits and pieces in them. Now, these little things that I've got here, I'm sifting through a container on the side there, and it's got all my little bits of, all my sprinkly bits. So, all my... Okay, now you see my photos. All right, I have to tell you, I've made the decision to what sprinkly bits I'm going to add. These photos, do you want to know the story behind it? This is hilarious. My middle child, dear darling Angela, has had the most bizarre trick her entire life. She has always self-soothed by sucking her own tongue. I know, weird, right? But she's always done it, and when she goes to sleep, she sucks her tongue, and she doesn't, I don't think she sucks her tongue as much anymore. I don't think she does that anymore. Or when she's really, really tired, we notice that she does it. But I don't think she even knows she's doing it. And she's always rubbed her ear, like the very top of her ear. She'll lay there with her thumb and she'll just very gently touch her ear. Subsequently, she realised at a very young age, because these photos, she was like maybe 2, she could fold her ears, tuck them in her ears, and then just like move her jaw and pop her ears out. The funniest thing ever, she can still do it now, and she has got the most flexible ears. She's got like no cartilage in her ears. And the reason this is going down a rabbit hole, you guys, you gotta laugh with me, it's funny. Last year she was working in a clothing store at Morayfield, and she had a part-time job over the summer, and they had a what do you call it, like a headphone, like an earpiece that she had to wear. And the funniest thing was she said, I put it in my ear, Mum, but it folds my ear up because my ear's not stiff enough to hold the wire behind her ear. Oh, mate, I tell you, we laughed hard at that. And she's like, well, how do I fix it? I said, I don't know. You just don't have cartilage in your ears. Your ears are just floppy. I don't know. Jeez, it's funny. I tell you what, man, we laughed. She loves it. She laughs, but she can still do this trick. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to scrap it, because it's one of those things that when she gets older, her kids are going to look through these albums and go, Mum, you can do what with your ears? Like, I can tell you now, it'll be funny. Years to come, it'll be funny. Sorry, I'm having a coffee, and it's so cold. I'm doing this voiceover down at my mother and father-in-law's as well, and same as yesterday. And oh, here comes another plane. I hope you can't hear it. I don't know if you can, but they live near, they're in a flight path, so the light planes go over all the time. Some of them sound like they're going to run into the roof, I got to tell you. It's a little unnerving. So can you see now how the colour is lighter on the unprocessed or the unprepped large title? Can you see how it's slightly lighter than the other ones? I can notice it. You can notice it more with the peacock feathers, I think, and the picked raspberry. Did I use picked raspberry? No, KITSCH Flamingo. So the colours I used in the Distress Oxides was KITSCH Flamingo, peacock feathers, and squeezed lemonade. So, and I did the stamping with my VersaFine Onyx Black ink just to get the stars onto the title. I think that turned out pretty cool. And this is the second last layout that will contain a word, and I'm just going to let you know it will be popping up soon. And yeah, so can you see how she tucks her ear in? And those ears, she literally just pops her ears. Please let me know if you know anyone else in your family that maybe can do the same thing, or can you do that? My ears, not a chance. I've never done something like that in my life. And she doesn't even have ears that stick out. Like, it's pretty funny. It cracks me up. So I'm coming in here with my black pen, and I'm doing a little bit of black line work just to, like I always say, add it on there 3 times. So I've done the border. I didn't want to do an actual extra border, so I did the pen border with the Posca paint pen, and then I'm just going around some of the stars that don't have, so they've got the texture paste but they don't have the glitter gel on top, just to sort of draw your attention to the stars a little bit. And then I go through with some star sprinkly bits. Now, all these little sprinkly bits, I'll let you know, I buy them from the $2 shop, cost me next to nothing, and my amazing daughter, who is amazing, she sits there and it's something that she loves to do. She likes to separate things, so she sat down one day and she separated all my different colored stars and stuff. See how she's put them into the little cylinders? So good. So good. Kid's amazing. Now, these little guys they are pastel, and they are the Paper Rose Studio Fairy Stars Shaker Mix. So I actually bought these from Paper Rose Studios online. So go onto their store, and I did buy them quite a while ago, so I'm not sure if they're going to have them anymore. But I started putting these little itty bitty stars down and then realized, you know what? They're not going on. They're not working. They need to be either a more bold color, or what I did notice was the white actually worked really well on the colored background. So if you've got some white stars, or you get the opportunity to buy some white hearts or whatever, if you create a really bright background, add white on top of it and it looks really good. And it stands out really, really quite nicely. So these stars are actually, they've got a little bit of dimension to them, and they're made out of, what do you reckon they're made out of? They're not soft, but they look like they would be soft. So they're probably 0.5 mil high, depth, height, however you say it. And oh, I see some dragonflies. That's always good news. Okay, so yeah, so I add those onto the layout. So I'm just drawing your eye across the layout. So, and then I'm going to do the journaling on this one once all the glitter gel dried. I didn't want to chance running into the glitter gel with one of my good pens. I've learnt the hard way. I have destroyed many pens doing that. It's easier to simply leave it alone. Don't touch it until it's dry. When it's dry, go to town. So, but I'm adding a lot of these stars, and they actually worked really, really nicely. So, and the colors worked I love the layout. I just think it looks really cute. Let me know what you think. Is this something that you would give a crack? Like, there's not actually anything other than sprinkly bits and a bit of texture paste. Pretty simple. I actually love the title, to be quite honest with you. That's what she used to say to me when she was really little. She'd go, "Look, Mum, magic," and she'd pop her ears out. It's like, yes, and she's got a nickname, and I still call her by her nickname, and it is so difficult when she's around her friends at school or anything like that. I have to be mindful not to call her by her nickname, but her boyfriend's heard it now, and they've been together for like nearly 11 months, so he has heard her nickname several thousand times, because I just can't do it. I can't do it. Are you like that? Do you have a thing that you call your children and it just sticks? It's just too bad. That's it. So that's their nickname, and they're gonna gonna live by it. She's a cutie. So they're off at school. Taylor will be picking them up today for me, because they only, on Fridays, they don't go to school till 11:50, which is a new thing here in Queensland. We're trialling this 4 and a bit days of school. I mean, it's kind of good. It does give you that early finish on a Friday, which is fantastic. But yeah, here comes another plane. I apologise. I can only apologise to the planes. I can't make them divert. So yeah, my microphone is picking it up, so a little bit. So I apologise. So don't forget to collect your word, and I will be back tomorrow with the very last word. And the giveaway closes at 3 p.m. my time. That's Australian Eastern Standard Time. That is Queensland time. How else can I tell you? 3 p.m. And then I will be drawing the winner and notifying them after 6 p.m. So I will contact you, and remember, you have to go over to the Facebook group, which is in the description below, and that's where you submit your words for the competition, for the giveaway, and that's where all eligible entries will be put into the system from there. So yeah, so I did end up just giving in, and I ended up using my Uniball Signo Broad gel pen for it, and I never do lines like that, but I thought, why not? Something different. So I did need to make that border just a little bit more obvious, so I just went along with some little lines, and it helped to make it sort of stand out a little bit more. And yeah, so that's the layout, guys. Let me know what you think, and I will be back tomorrow with another layout and something completely different. And check out that title. I love doing titles like that. That's my favorite part about my Cricut. And yeah, so thank you so much for watching, and look at all those stars with the shiny goodness. Absolutely love them. Thanks so much for watching. I will chat to you again soon, and that is me all done. Don't forget to get your word, people. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye for now.